Out off of Southeast Main Street, there was a body that was found in the house. Okay, we were able to say that it is Kat. Okay, I'm so sorry for your loss, sir.
This is 28-year-old John Blauvelt, learning that his missing wife was discovered in an abandoned house, brutally murdered, surrounded by satanic markings. However, John had a disturbing secret he couldn't tell the interviewer that day.
No, if I find her down.
Using his military experience, he carried out a near-perfect murder that kept detectives one step behind for years. By the time investigators began to narrow in on him, John was already long gone, living in a new state, in a new house, running away with his 17-year-old girlfriend, and seemingly getting away for good.
This defies any kind of logic that I have experienced in my 62 years on this earth.
We know more than you think. What if I told you that you were cell phone get pinged somewhere other than where you say you were?
It's 2:15 p.m. on October 24th, 2016. 22-year-old Katie Blauvelt is captured on CCTV inside her workplace. Her shift is soon coming to an end, and she's planning to meet her mother at 3 p.m. that same day. She leaves, calls her mother, and takes a selfie, unaware it's the last photo she ever takes. Not long after, her phone pings a location for the last time, and Katie disappears without a trace. 5 hours passed by. It's now 7 p.m., and Katie never arrived for dinner with her mother. Worried, the mother and other family members try calling her multiple times, but her phone has no signal. At 7:48 p.m., Katie's mother reports her missing. Officers, friends, and family mobilize to look for her, and the search officially begins. But this left detectives with a critical 5-hour gap in the timeline, one they would spend months trying to piece together. 10 hours would go past without any clues about Katie's whereabouts. Then, at 12:33 a.m., the police receive an unexpected call. One of Katie's friends is on the line, claiming he's just found her body, dead, inside an abandoned house deep in a nearby forest.
Sensitive 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm in that Discover Church across from it, in the woods.
You're at Discover Church across from where?
In the woods across from it. I was worried about my friend. She went missing. She's been missing for a while now. And she came in this house that we used to hang out in. And she's no alive.
Quickly, medics and police rush to the address of an abandoned house deep in the woods. Upon arriving at the scene, officers notice multiple graffiti markings, including apparent satanic symbols. Soon after, they identify the caller as Wayne Roper, a friend of Katie who leads them into the basement of the abandoned house. There, officers find a large concrete box sealed with plywood. When they remove the cover, they're met with a horrifying sight. Katie's body lies inside, with a knife pierced through her neck and 16 stab wounds across her body. The lack of struggle and the state of her clothing, with her shirt pulled up and her lower clothes missing, suggested a sexually motivated killing. All of these details point detectives straight to Wayne as their first potential suspect. But what they don't realize is that this is exactly what the killer wants them to think. Every detail of the scene has been arranged to send them chasing the wrong lead. Without realizing it, detectives have walked straight into the killer's setup. As the night went on, forensics revealed chilling details. Katie's body had been dragged to the basement, and her phone was found submerged in water to destroy it. Wayne is detained and brought in for questioning. At the moment, detectives believe they have their killer, and they're ready to push for a confession.
Wayne, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, brother. Hey, buddy. What's your name, pal? Franklin Wayne River. Sorry, Franklin Wayne River. Franklin or Wayne? Think about me.
At this point, Wayne believes he's been brought in to be questioned as a witness after the heartbreaking discovery, unaware that detectives are already convinced about his involvement in the murder, and any statement he makes might be used against him.
I think you know why you're here, right? Yeah. Okay. Tell me how did you meet Katie? Just from the time you met her, kind of what your relationship was, and leading up until 11:30 or so last night. Okay.
I first met her, we were friends at first, and then we dated for like a month or so, and then that's whenever I moved to Liberty with my dad. And we stayed in contact for a little bit, and then once I was with my dad's and when I was gone, we lost contact.
Detectives begin the interview by learning that Wayne and Katie were once together, but quickly, Wayne reveals something that would immediately put suspicion onto his name.
Maybe a year later, that Katie got married to John Blauvelt, and then one night she came and got with us with John. It was the first time I've seen her since I moved, and since then, John agreed to move in with him, a roommate, being $200 a month. And I took it up, it was a good deal.
So you lived with her and her husband?
Yeah, it was.
When was this? You remember when this was?
It was before June this year.
As Wayne explains that he once dated Katie and later lived with her and her husband, detectives gain another reason to suspect him: jealousy. And just as everything appears to be moving in the perfect direction for the real killer and his carefully constructed plan, Wayne makes a claim that complicates the investigation and may just be enough to ruin the killer's plan.
Living there, everything like going okay, then they started having arguments because of me, because she used to talk about me before, and she told me that he was jealous of me, and their arguments are getting worse, and that was whenever he got drunk one night and he cussed her out and he had her in the bathroom. They were just pretty much just screaming at each other. And from there, she ended up moving back with her mom, I think.
When did you and Katie, when you were living with John and Katie, were y'all being intimate with each other?
It was only once.
And John was there or not there?
It was like or something.
And how did that come about?
I was drunk and he was drunk and was around it. Like after that, like he changed.
If true, Wayne's claims about John's violent behavior could shift suspicion towards him. But despite Wayne's accusations, something still doesn't add up. His story, with its inconsistencies and gaps, keeps raising suspicions. Because prior to this interrogation, detectives learned that on the day of Katie's death, Wayne arrived late to work and he admits to walking near the abandoned house around the time Katie disappeared. More importantly, while at work, Wayne was aware that Katie might be inside that very house. Yet despite that suspicion, he never alerted authorities. Instead, he waited until the end of the day, went there himself, and only then called the police. All of this places Wayne squarely in the crosshairs of investigators, and unknowingly pushes them further into the real killer's trap. Because in the next few minutes, the interview will take a terrifying turn, as detectives unknowingly edge closer to forcing an innocent man into confession to a brutal murder that he never committed. But before we get to that, recently I've been dealing with these headaches for 3 weeks straight, and I kept pushing off seeing a doctor because I've always struggled to find one that works for me and my insurance. That's where I used ZocDoc, the sponsor of today's video. ZocDoc is a free website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors, and ZocDoc isn't just for one type of care. ZocDoc has over 150,000 providers across nearly every specialty, from primary care to dental, eye care, urgent care, mental health, and more. It's basically a one-stop shop for your healthcare needs, and it's completely free to use. When you found the doctor you need, you can see their actual appointment openings. Plus, ZocDoc helps you get appointments fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, and you can even score same-day appointments. No need to call doctor's offices and wait on hold either. So if there's something you've been ignoring, make it easier on yourself. Go to ZocDoc.com/DrInsanity. That's ZocDoc.com/DrInsanity, or click the link in the description to find and instantly book a top-rated, in-network doctor today. With that said, let's get back to Wayne's interview, where detectives are on the verge of pushing an innocent man into a murder confession.
Why did you call the police?
I didn't think of it at the time. I didn't.
Did you know she was dead? Why would you think the best idea is for you to walk into what turns out to be her final resting place, where somebody murdered her and dumped her down there like a piece of trash? You know why you didn't look in the bathroom?
The lights in there, the flashlight. Like if you're standing at the door of it, you can see in there.
You can't see in the tub. I'm telling you, I was up there in the day. She wasn't in the tub. This defies any kind of logic that I have experienced in my 62 years on this earth.
You look like you're gonna pass out.
This is too much.
I bet it is.
Get it off of you then.
I'm sure it is.
All you gotta do is lay it down. You lay the burden down, that's the only way you'll be forgiven. You gotta say, I messed up. Help me. That's what you gotta say. And I'll do it. And I'm not gonna do it on credit.
Detectives remain suspicious of Wayne, but with him sticking to his story and no hard evidence, they couldn't yet arrest him. Instead, they collected his DNA sample to compare with the DNA found underneath Katie's fingernails. But that's when, just a few hours after Wayne's interview, as police search the area around the abandoned house, they stumble upon Katie's car, only a few miles from the crime scene, left abandoned in a nearby parking lot. It looked as if she had left in a hurry, but the reason her car ended up there would remain one of the biggest mysteries for the following months. Up to this point, everything was going according to the killer's plan, one designed and carried out by Katie's own husband, John Blauvelt. But Wayne's comments about his jealousy pushed detectives to dig deeper. What they found was a restraining order filed months earlier, after John had allegedly pulled a gun on Katie when she refused to give him her phone. For the first time, despite his efforts, officers were seriously beginning to suspect John. So the next day, on October 26th, detectives approach him at his office on the military base where he works. Their goal is simple: hear his side of the story, verify his alibi for the day Katie died, and see how he reacts under pressure. For most perpetrators, this would be the moment everything starts to fall apart. But John isn't like the rest. He would play it perfectly.
Alright, well, they're out off of Southeast Main Street. There's a body that was found in the house, okay, an abandoned house. And at this point, we're able to say that it is Captain, okay? I'm so sorry for your loss, sir. At this time, we are investigating, and we investigate every death the same way. We start with homicide and work our way from there, okay? What the restraining order deal? What's the deal with that?
This is a charge that I got back in February, domestic violence first degree.
Do you know if she had any issues with anybody? Anybody with her or anything like that?
No, and I know that she's been dating around and, it's whatever, because I've been too.
Notice how John intentionally directs detectives towards the fact that Katie is dating around. Him pointing this out isn't a coincidence. It's a strategy. By controlling the narrative this early, John is quietly planting a story that will protect him later.
Did you work this Monday?
Mm-hmm.
What time did you go Monday?
2:30ish to, I don't know.
Did you stop anywhere on the way home? Let me ask you this, why were you looking for Katie?
For Cheyenne destroyed her down, just trying to help her out.
What do you know wanted to do harm to her?
Something about it.
Do you know there's a guy that used to live with you? Redhead fella?
Redhead?
Yeah.
Wayne?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's his story?
Just pretty good, dude. Pretty good.
What do you do for him?
Well, right now I just sit in this office. It's my office right now. Because of the civil investigation, all my recruiting duties have been suspended.
Are you familiar with this abandoned house?
Yeah, that's the spot.
What's the
It's a hangout spot. Am I being charged with the crime? Because he's recording me. I'm not comfortable with that. And if I am, I'd like to contact a lawyer. Because this is all public.
You're not being charged.
Okay.
As the interview ends, John does something counterintuitive. He defends Wayne, the man he's secretly framing. It's a manipulation tactic known as reverse empathy. By showing compassion, he makes himself appear harmless and trustworthy. John's first interrogation had gone almost perfectly, leaving detectives with little they could use against him. Still, they couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. With no evidence to hold him, he was let go, and officers would turn to those closest to John and Katie, their friends and family, unaware that John had already influenced them. Detectives started with Crystal, Katie's best friend, and at the time, also John's roommate. John knew exactly what to expect here. In his interrogation, he had already planted the idea that Katie was dating around, and Crystal, being one of Katie's close friends, also knew about her dating habits. His hope was that she would unknowingly reinforce this misdirection, steering suspicion towards anyone but him.
October 28th, 2016, 4:47 p.m. Sentinel Police Department. Like I said, all I ask is that we don't put it on up here. Yeah, he's not the one. Yeah, I'm not very wrong to the question. I see why the sentence back. I'm going to keep on. His murder.
He's just, I mean, he said that, you know, it sucks for him because he feels like he's going to get in trouble for it. But, you know, he's like, I didn't do this. You know, like, I'm tired of people coming after me. And me and John actually really do get along. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie about it at all. I'm going to tell you the straight up truth. If he's acting weird, I'm going to tell you, but it wasn't. I was thinking last night about it. I really was. Just maybe a split second thought that it could have been John. But ever since Katie's gone missing, he's made sure that there was more than one person around him. At the time that Katie died at 8 o'clock at night, John would all three of us were sitting around him. I mean, from 5 o'clock when he came back home till me and my boyfriend left for work the next morning, he was there.
Notice how Crystal mentions that John got home at 5 p.m. and stayed there the entire evening until morning. It's a detail that would later turn out to be part of John's manipulation.
So, if you had to take a guess,
I don't know because I heard a lot of things, and I know she went offender, and I know that she was dating a lot of people. From, you know, Cheyenne telling me that she took a lot of people down in the house. I didn't even know the house existed.
what were John's feelings about working with you?
I mean, I know that he loved her. I know that he still does. I mean, he's mad because of what Katie is accusing. You know, he held a gun up to my head and stuff like that. And just by the way she was talking, I knew she was lying. Because that's what she did. Me and her used to get each other in trouble all the time in high school. That's what she would do. She would lie, you know?
Just as John hoped, Crystal's account added fuel to the idea he had planted. By emphasizing Katie's dating life, she unknowingly fed into John's narrative, suggesting the threat may have come from someone she was seeing, maybe even Wayne. Next came Catherine, John's ex-wife and the mother of his child. He had already made sure she wouldn't say too much. Fear, and their shared child, would be enough to keep her quiet.
This is Investigator Hawkins.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
With you being married for 7 years, with the drinking reasons over, has there been any violence between the two of you? I mean, I'm not here to go and arrest him for something that happened 10 years ago or anything like that, but
I just don't want to go into anything that had to do with us because that doesn't have anything to do with what happened between him and me.
I mean, it's not that you're incriminating yourself.
He's a good guy. I mean, I lied, gotcha, but I would be if he was that crazy.
You never know, like sometimes something just happens.
But he's never shot me for no reason.
Well, you do have to get together, so.
You know, there's that, but.
Alright, I'll give you a business card with my phone number on there.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Catherine's silence kept John safe for now, but the final interview with Katie's niece, Cheyenne, would not go according to John's plan. Unlike Crystal or Catherine, she wouldn't protect him. Instead, she would point suspicion directly at John and reveal a motive that would tie everything together. For the first time, his carefully built plan would start to fall apart.
Alright, your name is Cheyenne Paxton, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, it's Thursday, October 27th, 8:52 a.m. Simpsonville Police Department. This is in reference to the homicide investigation of Caitlin Blackville. Have you ever seen John get behind up towards you?
Never seen him. But he's handsome. I've seen him where you
Would Katie have gone over to his house on her own?
in the last 3 weeks, don't look like I do.
So he says he hasn't seen her since July.
There's no July. Yeah, no. He's seen her. I know. John is really angry at Katie. It's real hard.
Tell me what he's mad at her for.
He feels like that it's her fault. The whole, like, you know, that the relationship went bad. And everything got bad. All he feels like it's her fault. That he's losing his job. And that he got in any trouble. And he just blames it all on her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know if this matters or not. But I know he has a $150,000 life insurance policy on her, too.
I appreciate you coming in. I know it's not easy. Especially when somebody close to you, but it's important we can get all this information you give us good information we need. So.
Cheyenne's interview gave detectives their first real motive pointing to John. But motive wasn't enough. They needed evidence.
They have a few leads, but they have no defined person of interest just yet.
As the investigation dragged on, the detectives' frustration began to grow. John had covered himself so carefully that they couldn't even get a judge to approve a DNA warrant. Without it, they had nothing that could tie him directly to Katie's final moments. It's now been 4 days since Katie was killed, and detectives didn't have any solid evidence. They knew John was smart, but so were they. Out of options and patience, they began planning something different. They began forming a new, risky, and very unconventional plan. In just 2 days, they would set a trap for John, a trap at Katie's own funeral. In the days leading up to the funeral, detectives stayed ready. While they waited, Katie's family mourned and tried to make sense of what happened. 22-year-old Katie had spent the past year working at PetSmart, surrounded by animals she was saving and taking care of. She was easygoing and warm, quick to make friends, and close with her family. But her peaceful life from just days earlier would make what was about to come only more unsettling. As the day of the funeral came, detectives entered the funeral home early, working quietly before guests began to arrive. They positioned hidden cameras around the room and secretly wired the space for sound. Everything inside the funeral home looked normal, but in reality, detectives controlled every detail. They placed cups of water and other drinks where guests could easily reach them. The plan was simple. Get John to drink from one of the cups, catch it on video, collect his DNA from the cup, and compare it to the DNA found on Katie's body. On October 30th, the day of the funeral, detectives set their plan into motion. But what their cameras are about to capture goes far beyond anything they expect. As John leaves the funeral home, detectives know their plan has worked. They quickly return to retrieve the cup he had drank from and the hidden camera they placed earlier. When they review the footage, 3 critical things stand out, all of which will become pivotal to the entire investigation. The first is exactly what they were hoping for. John drinks from one of the cups and leaves it behind, giving detectives the evidence they need to collect his DNA without a warrant and compare it to the samples found on Katie. The second detail is something they never expected. The footage captures John walking up to the casket, taking pictures of Katie's body while making unsettling comments. Baiting capture was now cornered. After years of hiding in plain sight, the truth had finally caught up with him, and the case was nearing its resolution. However, the mystery of how Katie was lured to the abandoned house remains unsolved to this day. Her phone was recovered damaged, limiting investigators' ability to access message content and app-based communications. And while rumors suggested Charles Scott might have had contact with her, this was never confirmed. With no physical or forensic evidence tying him to the crime, he was ultimately ruled out as a suspect and never sentenced. In 2022, during an interview after John's arrest, Hannah revealed for the first time that she and John had been in regular contact throughout the years he was on the run, continuing to text and communicate, even after she had returned to South Carolina. This new revelation shed light on her role in helping John evade capture. Finally, on September 20th, 2024, John Blauvelt was convicted of Katie's murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Hannah Thompson was charged with obstruction of justice and accessory after the fact, receiving a sentence of 10 years.